Hey guys, it's actually not that big a risk to leave your 9 to 5 job to pursue something you're passionate about. That's what I want to communicate to you today. Welcome to episode 2 of 5 Minute Fridays, where I share as much meaningful content with you as I can in 5 minutes or less as I document my jump from my safe 9 to 5 office job as an insurance broker to pursue something that I'm really passionate about that truly invigorates and fulfills me as a life coach and an author and a public speaker. If you missed episode 1, I'm doing this mostly for people who find themselves in a similar position to the one I was in just a few months ago, where I was working a job that I was pretty good at. I loved the company I worked at. I loved the people I worked with. I just simply wasn't fulfilled, and I was making a great living. It paid the bills. It was lucrative. I had a high earning potential, but I just was not fulfilled at that job. And I had this thing on the side that I was doing, coaching people through the keto diet, and I was doing it on the side, and I was so passionate about it and so incredibly fulfilled by it that I was toying with the idea of just jumping into it and doing it full time. So I made this to show you that you can figure this out. I want to serve as an example that you can do that. I think too many people are stuck in jobs either because the money's too hard to walk away from or you have too many bills to pay. I want to show you that you can do this, that it's figure outable, and that it's worth it to actually follow your passion. If you did watch episode 1, though, you'll notice that this one looks a little bit different. That's thanks to my incredible wife, who in essence told me, hey, episode 1's content was great, but your production looked like shit. Don't embarrass me again. So she took it upon herself to build me this amazing YouTube studio that you see behind me. So hopefully that enhances your viewership and listening experience a little bit. But today I wanted to tell you my thoughts on this common feedback that I'm getting, not only as I jump, but as I broadcast it and share it with people, as I let you in, and as I've been vulnerable. The number one response that people give me is, of course, the obvious one: wow, what a big risk, or hats off to you for taking such a big risk. And I want to tell you about this idea of risk and how I determined it, how I dissected it, and how I ultimately changed my internal narrative about the risk that I was taking. And the way that I think about this is there's actually never been a time in history where it's been more risky to be employed. And what I mean that in the sense of being beholden to an employer and having somebody else determine your income, your hours, your future, right? If you work a sales or commission-based job, this is obviously a little bit different for you. You have higher earning potential, whatever, your income's not determined, whatever you'd like to believe. But to some extent, there is somebody else who is determining, your commission split, things like that. And I want to show you that it's actually not that big a risk to start your business, start your movement, follow your passion. And the example that I'm going to use is from a headline that I read just a couple days ago in the news that 28,000 people in a single day were laid off from Disney Corporation. So you can imagine this massive corporation, Disney, one of the biggest in the world. They're known for taking care of their employees, great benefits. These people probably thought that they could not have a safer, more secure job just 9-10 months ago before COVID happened. So then all of a sudden the landscape shifts and these people show up to work, 28,000 of them, to find out that they are now jobless. So, this idea of leaving a safety net, it's actually not that safe to be employed right now, especially with all the volatility, the uncertainty. If you have a contract with an employer, it can be terminated actually at any moment, especially if your job can be written down. You are disposable. If somebody can tell you what to do, they can find somebody cheaper to do it. So there's actually never been a better time, and there's never been less risk to leave your 9 to 5, to start your own movement. The individual, and we're taught not to believe this, but it's not true, the individual has more leverage and more flexibility, more freedom than anybody ever imagined a single individual would have. If you have $30 a month, you can afford an internet connection. What that allows you to do is connect to 1.5 billion people at any given time. And if you can find a tiny corner of 1.5 billion people, not to spam, not to manipulate, not to hustle, but if you can find a tiny corner of that market to serve, then you have an opportunity to make a living doing what you love. I think that each individual has a unique set of skills, a unique set of gifts to bring into the world. And if you can find enough people to share that with in a generous way, wanting to improve their life or improve their status or whatever it is that they're seeking, these people you're looking to serve. If you can find a tiny corner of that market, then you can make a viable living. It's never been less risky, and it's never been more risky to be employed. It's never been less risky to pick yourself, to bet on yourself, and to start your own movement. That's what I did, and it's working out beautifully. Thanks for tuning in. We're a little over 5 minutes. That went quicker than I thought it would. Subscribe, comment, all that stuff that YouTubers say at the end of their video. Thanks for tuning in, guys.